Hello everyone, welcome back to Wood Fire Smoke. I'm your host James Braden, and today we're going to make something that's going to be a crowd pleaser for every occasion, and that's Asian chicken wings. It's extremely simple to make but you do have to have a little bit of planning, because what we're going to do is take I think it's Bachan's Japanese barbecue sauce. Stuff is fantastic. Um, and I'm not going to go through the whole process of showing you how to marinate them. All you do is put them in a big baggie, big enough to hold however many wings you're going to do, and then pour that sauce over them, put them in there, let them soak for at least 4 hours. I would do it 24, to be honest with you. That's just why I like to get a lot of flavor into my wings. And so 24 hours is good. I wouldn't let them go any longer than 24 hours because I believe this has a lot of soy in it, but it has a little bit of a salt content. And so it's kind of like a brine as well. But 24 hours is about perfect. But then where the planning has to come out of that, the way I like to do it is I like to take my wings out and set them on a rack and put them in the refrigerator to dry. I want the skin to dry so it can become crispier during the cook. So I'll dry them for 24 hours or overnight, which is fine. And then it just helps make it for a better wing, I believe. But now that you've dried the skin out, for us to put a rub on these, we're going to have to put a little something on there to help it adhere. And I like to use avocado oil. It's a neutral flavor. I cook with this stuff. It comes in an oil form, like olive oil, where you can use it to cook anything in a skillet or whatever. But I like to spray as well. But we want to put something on these to help the rub adhere, because we're going to put a rub on them. Just put a thin coating on there. And today, the rub I'm going to use, Troy Long, the owner of this company, sent for me and asked me to try some of his rubs out. And I've tried a couple of them, and I've liked them a lot. You may have seen in my chuck roast video. But he's not paying me anything. I'm not endorsed. He's not endorsing me in any way. He just asked me to try them and see how I like them. And so far, I've really liked them a lot. And today, I haven't tried this one, but this is Dirty South's Sexy Mama's Rub. And it's got a sweet heat. This is a salty type flavor. You know, it's a soy, so I want to come back with something that's sweet, and I want some little bit of fire in it. So this rub seems like it's going to be perfect. We're going to find out, because I tasted it, and it's got a sweet heat, and it has a little bit of a savory flavor, which I really like a lot. So let's go ahead and get some of this on them. I'm just going to hit the tops lightly with it, because there's already a lot of flavor in there. This is just to add a little bit more punch. We're going to cover these lightly. I hope you can see here about how much I'm putting on them. I want to make sure each wing gets a nice little taste of them. The rub. Missed a little spot there. I was going to cook these on my my gravity feed smoker, but the problem with it is that it came a bad storm. So today we're going to fall back on the Recteq 680. 680 just means that it has 680 square inches of cooking space. I'm going to start these out. A pellet grill is a little bit harder to get a really good smoke flavor on them. So I'm going to start these out at 200 degrees. I'm using hickory wood pellets, and I'm going to put them at 200 for about 45 minutes to get a good smoke flavor on them. I'm leaving them on the rack. We have an extreme setting over here. I'm going to hit extreme smoke, and that's going to put extra smoke flavor on the wings. But we're going to leave them on there for 30, 45 minutes. Then we're going to crank this up to finish the wings so we can get a crispier skin on them. You can see the wings are getting a nice bit of smoke on them now. And if you hear that smoker cutting on and cutting off, that's the Recteq's extreme smoke feature, which it's actually cycling the fan off and on to generate more smoke, and it'll do this at low temperature. But now we're going to crank this temperature up on the smoker up to We're going to do 275, and that's just going to cook them because we're going to want to bring these wings up to an internal temperature of about 180 degrees or so, and then we're going to finish them on my PK portable kitchen over there over charcoal and crisp up that skin. But anyway, we'll check back in about an hour, and hopefully they'll be at temperature, and we'll be ready to throw them on the charcoal grill. Okay, the wings are still over on the Recteq pellet smoker, and they're just about ready. So I've decided I'm going to do something, mix it up a little different. I'm going to make a glaze for the wings. Normally I don't, but I started thinking we marinate them in this Japanese Bachan's barbecue sauce, and they just came out with this spicy one. So I wanted to try this as a glaze. So I thought, well, let's give it a shot. So what I'm going to do is first is toast some sesame seeds. These toast really quickly, so you want to be pretty quick with it. So I'm going to put those on, maybe 2 teaspoons or so. So make sure that's not hot. Try to keep them moving. You know, this reminds me of the summers while these toast. I just thought I'd share this story with you of in Okinawa with my grandmother. We would sit around and we'd make tofu and peel soybeans, and then for the evening we'd grill chicken wings. So, okay, whew, that's about too hot to handle. So I think those are looking pretty good right now. So now I'm going to go ahead and pour in about a cup of this sauce. The spicy sauce, Bachan's Japanese barbecue spicy sauce. And I'm going to put some honey in there to sweeten it up a little bit. Ooh, that fire is hot, hot, hot. But my grandmother, she was a sassy one. She always liked her food spicy, so I guess that's where I got that from. Keep that stirring. I'm going to keep stirring that, let it reduce down by half, and then by then the wings should be ready to move over here to the grill, and we'll check back then. Okay, it's about time for our wings to come off. I think they're going to be ready. I want the wings can usually cook to between they're done at 165, but I mean you can. I think they're better when you let them go up to 180 to 190, maybe even 195. So my goal here is to pull these off at 180 degrees. And I'm going to use my Thermapen thermometer, which this is the Thermapen One. I think it's the latest and greatest that Works makes, and it's just phenomenal thermometer. It's one that it's outlasted everything else I've ever had. But let's take a check and see if we're up to about 180 degrees here. Okay, we're at 185 actually on the flats, so I think we're going to be fine. It's ready to pull these off. So let me go ahead and cut this off. It's time to move these over to the grill. And they are looking fine. Okay. Now, I'm going to have to move kind of fast on these. After you put wings on the grill, you kind of need to stay with them because they can burn pretty quickly. And we just want to get a really good, some nice grill marks on them, pull them off, plate them, and start eating. I'm going to hold off on the glaze. Let me go ahead and put the drummies on first because they take a little bit longer to cook. I'm going to hold off on the glaze until the very end because the glazes are real quick to burn. So we don't want that happening. These things are so full of flavor. I think whether you like Asian flavors or not, when you put like the Dirty South rub or what your own favorite rub, whatever you've got, it changes it enough to where anyone can enjoy them. Let's see here. And I'll finish putting these on. I don't want to keep you here while I'm doing all this, and we'll check back here in just a minute. Okay, the grilling went really fast. The sugars and that was catching on a little bit quicker than what I thought it, so I had to pull these off. I didn't have a lot of time, so I'm going to go ahead and glaze them on the plate here. And remember, this is about a cup of the spicy Bachan's barbecue sauce, sesame seeds, um, and about, I'd say, quarter cup of honey, maybe. And we're going to save some of this for dipping. Boy, that is beautiful. Loving this color of this. And I've decided, I tried the Bachan's spicy sauce and off camera, and it is my new favorite. It is got a sweet heat that sneaks up and gets you in the back of the throat. It's really, really nice. It's fantastic sauce. I can't recommend it highly enough. And you can make your own, but you know, when you can buy some from the grocery store, that's good. I mean, by all means, let's do it. Let me get some of that off of there. Make this look pretty. And when you garnish, I like to think of what goes good with wings. So of course these are Asian wings, but they're wings still, and we all know that what goes good with wings but celery. So I've decided that I'm going to use the celery tops, the green part of the celery. I'm going to cut it up real fine here because I've done this before, and the flavor is just fantastic. When you get a big bite of that celery on there, on that juicy wing, I'll run through it a couple of times there. Just sprinkle it over the top. It's just that match made in heaven that we all look for in a good plate of wings. And there you have it. Asian grilled barbecue wings. Now comes the fun part. I get to taste one here. Which one I want to get? Let me get this little crispy one here on top. Wow. Salty, sweet, bite through skin. Absolutely amazing. I hope that you all, if you like what we're doing here, that you'll give us a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel. I really would appreciate it. And go out and make some barbecue wings this weekend. Thanks. Until next time.